Okay, everybody, so I am back. I'm making another scarf, as you can see. So I did it the same way. If you want to watch how I did my very first scarf using this yarn here, you can go back and watch my other crocheting one. That's a full one. So I wanted to show you guys today how you can use two different yarn skeins is what they're called. My mom actually looked it up. It's called a skein, not a scheme. I called it a scheme, or a skein. I don't know. Maybe it's said that way, but either way. I think I do a triple stitch. Again, I'm not a professional, so I don't know exactly what to call these things, but I'm going to show you how you can do these right here. And so what I did was I did my first starter loops here, and then I did 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe there was 5, and then I did 3 here, or maybe 4. Actually, there was 3 here, 4, 3, and then I did 2 of these. And now I'm going to use this white yarn here I'm going to do 1. So this scarf is actually going to have a larger strip, a smaller, 1 white in the middle, and then we'll go back and repeat that. So it's actually going to be probably about that big. So it's going to be kind of a nice thick scarf, but I think it'll be something that, will be good for someone who wants a really nice, big, thick scarf. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. And again, I am not a professional, y'all. I am not a professional crocheter, but I do love staying busy, and it actually does really help. So I got my scissors here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a little bit of the string off right here and be done with this for now. So we'll use this again when I finish up everything. So yeah, okay, so now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna add this guy here. And when you're doing sections, I always try to make sure that you kind of have the same type of yarn, meaning that this isn't like a thicker yarn than the other one, because then that just kind of sometimes looks a little strange. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna pull, that's the loop right there. All right, so this loop right here is the one. So if you remember how when I do my ends, I actually make one more loop up and then kind of fold it over. So I hope that makes sense, but I'm going to show you how I do that. I'm just going to tie this right here, kind of low to this guy, because I want it to be able to loop in to this new section. Okay, I hope all this makes sense, guys. It'll make sense here in a second. So I'm going to tie that little knot. Don't lose your little loop. If you feel like you're losing your loop, do this. I have lost mine a few times, so we'll do that so that it stays there. Okay. All right, so now this is tied to that little loop that I'm going to loop back up, and this will make sense here in just a second. So I'm going to cut this guy off because that's the excess that we don't need. I'm going to cut this off. Okay, all right, so remember, when I get this, I'm going to have one more little loop up here and pull through. Okay, now I'm gonna, so again, I'll repeat. So I pulled this one through, wrap it, and then you're gonna go in that first little loop, pull back, and now you should have 3 right here, and then you're gonna pull that 4th one through. Okay, does that make sense? We're gonna do one more. So we're gonna loop it through, pull, and then pull again. Loop it, pull through, pull again, loop it, pull through, pull the 4th one. So you should always have 3 loops, and that's how you're going to get the end to kind of match that. And then again, remember, I'm going to put some fringe down here at the very end, so it won't look jagged at the end, or if there's any little spots that don't kind of match up perfectly. Again, this is not a professional job. I'm not a professional. So I just kind of do what feels right. But it's kind of fun. I literally had no clue that my biggest viewed video on my YouTube channel that I just started a month ago would be me making a scarf. So yeah, pretty excited about that. I guess there's a large crocheting community or people that are happy with, watching people make things. So yeah, so I'll get a little closer so you can kind of see here. Can you see that right there? Can you see that? So we go in, boom, right there. And a lot of it is muscle memory and your finger placement. I always just kind of feed. So these two fingers here are holding this, and these two fingers are pulling my thread or my yarn like so. And then this finger is kind of holding my ring finger and my pinky are holding this like so. And then these are like holding like that. So if you're ever wondering like how to hold your finger placement, that is how I do it. And I've seen where some people have these extra like larger things, because this is kind of hard to hold sometimes. I may get some of those. I'm pretty sure they probably sell them at Michael's. That's my favorite hobby store. Probably sell them at Michael's, and if not, then I'll hit up Amazon, but I try to get stuff from Michael's when I can. And then you can see how this is turning into a nice little line here. And it's pretty easy once you get started. And like I said, the bigger, on my last video, the kind of looser these are, like you can kind of see through that, is the easier it is to work with. So when I first started, I was doing them a little too tight. And so it was making it difficult for me to find the little loop to go in with my crochet needle. So now I know that these need to be a little bit looser. So you can see that. And then I'm just going to do this one row. And then I'll do 2 rows of this yarn here. I got another one of these ready. And then we'll do 3 white and then 4, and then I'll match it, and then we'll be done with this. So yeah, this has taken me probably, I haven't been working on it every day, but it's probably going to take me about maybe 7 hours or so, maybe, all together. But I'm very excited. This is for Aaron. He chose the colors. He wanted the stripes. He even showed me, he even gave me diagrams. He was funny. He wrote it out like, he was like, this is how I want it. So he's silly and I love it. But yeah, it's cute. All right, guys. So I'm going to finish this up. And then, like I said, just follow how I said to do it. And you can get multiple kinds. You could do many different kinds of strings. Yarn, skeins, and you can make different patterns. And I think it would be really cool to do like a really big pattern and then like a small pattern and then a really big pattern, or like having like all of it one and then having like one end be different. I don't know, you can do all kinds of stuff, so just go crazy. All right, so this is it for this part of the video. I'll come back in and show you guys how I'll do it again one more time when I finish this, and I'll go into how I do the purple again, just so you guys can see it one more time. And then I'll show you the finished product. So I'm hoping to have this done before Christmas. It will be done before Christmas. It will. Also, it is literally 22 degrees outside in Austin, Texas right now, which I am just freaking out about that. I can't even believe it's 22 degrees. It's nuts. My sister lives up in the Dallas area, and it was minus, I'm sorry, it was in the 20s earlier, but then I guess it's now the teens, and with the wind chill factor, that has brought it down to like minus 1 degree or something. That's crazy. Like, I don't even know what to say about that. That's just nuts. So yeah, so a scarf will be good to have for the road trip up there, because it's supposed to be bad up until Christmas Eve. So Christmas Day it's supposed to be better. So we'll see what happens. But all right, guys, so this is what you do, and there we go. Cool. All right, guys, I'll be back when this is more done. Okay, guys, so I'm back. I'm almost finished with this scarf, and I just wanted to finish up this last little part, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So I'm putting that there so that I can hold my spot. And yeah, so this is what happened with the scarf. Now let me let me kind of share with you. You may think this pattern was meant to happen, but I got a little crazy and messed it up, but I think it looks good anyway. So I did like 5 rows and then 4 rows and then 2 rows, and I was going to do 1 row and then repeat and go backwards this way as I did that way. Well, I was watching, who knows what I was watching on television, who knows what I was watching, and that didn't happen. So I wound up doing a row by itself, like this was supposed to be the center, and then going back this way. So I did 2, and then somehow went back in and did another white, because I guess I thought I was here and then went there, and so I just finished it up. So it's a little off, but you know what? I don't hate it. I don't hate that it looks a little bit different. And I kind of dig the asymmetrical kind of striping that was done to it. Like I was going to just finish doing white on this side, and then I thought this is just going to look weird if there's big white here. I don't know. So this is what happened. So anyway, so if you mess up, it can be a pleasant mistake, right? So again, if you have not watched some of my other video, I'm just going in and I do, I think it's called a triple stitch, where you do 3. See, there's 3 little guys there. And then I pull them through. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. I'm always holding with these 2 fingers, holding the material, the yarn, and then these kind of help feed. And then this finger is pulling back and holding here. And these 2 fingers, or actually 3 fingers, are kind of holding this, kind of like a chopstick. So I've had some people ask me like how I hold my device, and that's what I do. It's pretty easy once you get kind of rolling with it. It's not like it's very hard, but it is something that takes practice. And again, I don't do any of the thrills and frills. I don't do any of the artistic looking stitching. Mine's just getting it done, right? But you can absolutely do some artistic stuff in here, and that's totally cool. I probably want to learn some of that eventually, but right now the goal is just to get this back on track and then get this scarf done. So when you get to the end here, this is going to be the end of the scarf. This is where we have finished what we're doing, and I'm going to do 1 more little loop right through here and go 1 more just to straighten out that spot. Boom, and there it is. That's the end right there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to now tie this end here. And you're going to get some scissors, and you're just going to cut your string off. And then I'm going to show you what we're going to do. I've already pre-cut some string for the fringe here, yeah? So I'm going to go in, and I'm going to loop that through there. Okay, so does that make sense? And we're going to pull just like that. Okay. That is going to secure the very end. And if you wanted to, you could go back in and do an extra one. This is a 5.5 little needle here. If you wanted to, you could go back through, just poke your little needle through one of these little holes here, and then pull it through like so. See, now you have these 2 loops. And then you could pull it through again so that it just secures it 1 more time. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to, because that's going to stay. It's not going to move anywhere. So just know that. But you can always go back through and do things. Or you could even do a little guy like this. I'm just showing you guys some different ways to end your... And then that's going to just go like that. But the bottom line is you want to make sure that first loop is done so that this isn't going anywhere. So when you pull this, none of this is going to come unraveled. So, okay. And we're going to use that as part of some fringe too. So I'll cut that. The fringe that I have for this these are measured in inches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 inches. So we'll make sure that this one is 7 inches too. And if you wanted to cut it shorter, you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll just cut right there. Okay. Now that's what the end looks like. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do fringe in this color here. And then I'm going to do some white fringe, the colored fringe, white, colored, white, colored. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to finish cutting up my fringe, and then we'll be back. So you'll see what the finished look looks like. Okay, so now I'm back, and I've got all of my pre-cut 12 inches. These I went a little longer, I think. Some of those, that's okay. We'll cut them down. But I got 15 of these each in that grouping. Okay, 15. Okay. So what I'm going to do is we're going to split this. We'll take this one and put it over here. So now I only have 15 of each of these right here. So what we're going to do is we're now going to make the fringe for my scarf. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the colored. So in the fringe, the reason they're cut so long is because you're going to do this. You're going to kind of basically loop it here. So it's going to be like this. It's going to be this right here. You're going to see that. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to put this up here for now. And we're going to use these here. So I've got the end of my scarf, and I'm going to just kind of fold him up. He's actually quite long. I call everything a he. I don't know. I call everything a he. I don't know why I do that, but my scarf is long. Aaron wanted a very long scarf, so he's getting one. So we're going to use this 5 millimeter hook here, crochet hook. And we got both our ends here. We're going to start with this one. Okay, so goal is we're going to get one of these like so. Okay, and we're going to push it through. So I'm going to go in through here, pull that through. We're going to make a loop like that. Okay, do you see how that's a loop? That's a loop right there. Okay, if you can see that. Now I'm going to use this to pull both of these parts through. Make sure they're even when you're pulling too, because you want to make sure that they pull evenly, so you don't have one string like really long and the other one's not. Okay, there we go. So now see how it's attached? Can you see that right there? See how it's attached to that little knot? That's it. Perfect. That's all I got to do. So we're going to do that with the rest of these. Again, I'll do another one. So we're just going to go right in that same spot. And we're going to pull through, make a loop, pull back, pull them through, make sure they're nice and even. And then go like that. That's the easiest way. And then we're just going to cut anything that's too long, but we'll do that at the very end. All right, so I'm going to continue doing that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay in this, this part here, and then we'll go to white, and then we'll come back. All right, guys, so we are back. I finished everything. So this is the scarf, what it looks like. The stripes, I did all the fringe here. This is the ends of them. And I did them where they follow the color. So we got the colored here. Then we got white, color, white, color. So I just thought that looked kind of cool. And then what I'm going to do is I didn't finish off snipping them the same length. So I'm going to show you how I do that And it's just simple. It's just like a little haircut. You know, some of the fringe is going to be a little bit longer, and I don't mind if some of this fringe is kind of longer. I don't mind if it's, but some of them that are too long, like some of these guys, I'm just going to get rid of. So we're just going to go just like that. I knew I cut the white ones a little bit too long, so just a little haircut, as it were. Boom. That's that. We'll put that over there. So then they're just, that looks better to me. And like I said, I don't mind if it's a little bit off. And then I'll use that same length on this side. And we'll just cut off the longer ones here. There we go. Easy. And if some of them are shorter, like I said, I don't care. That's probably a little too long. All right. There you go. So that is the ends now. Perfect. All right, guys, that's my scarf. Thank you for watching. See you at the next video.